Hate this crap. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Wood Doofus here. Today we're going to be making some tops for some cabinets that I'm building later this week, and we're going to be making it out of this beautiful cherry hardwood. So the first thing we got to do is get this stuff S4S, which is square on four sides. So let's go ahead and joint the one edge that's not already jointed, and then we'll plane it down. Alright, so I guess what I'm talking about is the hardwood store gave me this material with one jointed edge and one surface face. So what I'm doing here is running the jointed edge they gave me along my fence, which should straighten up the other end nice and true for a good connection. And then I tried to move on to the planer, and I ran into a problem because I plugged in my vac and the planer into the same power strip, and it thought that was too much power, and so it cut off on me. Hate this crap. So I got these three boards jointed, and I got them laid out the way I want them to sit next to each other, and I'm going to put marks so I don't lose track of which board's going to be next to what. And now is the time that I'm going to plane these down, and you can see the hardware store had some marks on there, so I'm just going to try to take off a 1/64 of an inch on each one of these to get a nice clean surface to it. It says on this turner here that every full revolution equals 1/16 of an inch taken off, so I just move this in quarter turns, which represents 1/64 of an inch. So once I make contact with the board, I do one more quarter turn and then send it on through. Alright, so I ended up plugging in my vacuum into a different outlet. Right now I only have one outlet in my stupid garage, which I will remedy soon and get a whole bunch of outlets in there. And here I am pushing a board through. You can see those marks from the hardwood store erased, and it comes out smooth as butter. Words cannot describe how soft and smooth this cherry wood is after being sent through a brand new planer. It's amazing. So this wide board that I got, I sent it through at the same thickness as these other three that are going together, and this one's actually going to be a separate piece. And I noticed that some of the center parts are still rougher, so I think this board must have been cupped a little bit. So I'm going to send it through one more time and take off another 1/64, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. Alright, so here I am putting the marks for the biscuits, trying to make sure they line up just right. I'm going to use 7 biscuits on each joint, so that's going to make me cut a total of 28 biscuit holes. And now my biscuit joiner has a broken blade on it. It hit a screw, and so it gives me a lot of trouble. So that's why you see me kind of struggling with each one of these biscuits, is because I need a new blade and I haven't got one yet, so I struggle. Here I am putting the actual biscuits in. Because my blade was broken, I have to shave these biscuits down so they actually fit where they're supposed to fit and actually get the boards all the way together, so that's a lot of fun too. But it all works out in the end. I got it straight there, so it's ready for the big clamps and the glue up. Get the big clamps into position, and then I start the glue up. I separate the dry fitted boards, make sure I get the glue into each one of the biscuit holes, and then I put the biscuits back in after I finger the board, and put some more glue on that board, get the old finger out, and then go ahead. This was the first time I did this, so this was an awkward thing to do. I think I figured out better methods as I got onto the next panels, but this was started out a little awkward. I'm really trying not to get glue on the surface of the board so it won't mess up the stain later on, and ultimately with the sanding it turned out okay. I didn't see any glue problems after I stained it, lucky for me. So just gluing up the last board. Now we're ready to clamp it up. So I get all the clamps that I got. I got 4 big clamps right now. They're pretty expensive, so I got 4 of them. So get them nice and tight, and when the glue squeezes out, I'll just grab a little bit of the cherry sawdust and put it in where the glue is, and then rub it until the glue is gone, and it actually helps fill the cracks. Alright, so the glue's dried overnight, so this one is ready for staining and finishing, and I'm going to put this aside and get the other one set for gluing, and then we'll get to this. Okay, so the first thing I got to do after the glue up is cut the panels to their final dimensions. So here I am trimming the ends of the panels. Oh, there's my wife's feet. And then I do the rip cut to trim the length of the panel down to the 18 inches that I need. And then I move on to the routing. I decided to route out a chamfer on this one, so it's a nice clean straight edge to go with the decor of the house that this is going to go in. My friend up in Virginia has a 1980 style house, so instead of a round over, I gave him a chamfer because I thought the sharp edge would look good. Here I am sanding. I went straight to the 220 grit, and that's all I did was the 220 grit because the planing was good. Now here is the staining. I used the cherrywood gel stain, the first time I've ever used gel stain, and it was interesting. It worked out pretty well in the end. It looks funky at the beginning, but once you start wiping off the excess, it looks really smooth and even, so I appreciated that. So here I'm wiping the excess off. I probably did a little bit more wiping than you see in the video. I finished up the first panel last night, but I think I can't remember if I filmed doing the clear coat on there. So what I'm using is something I've never used before. This is a triple thick polyurethane, water-based, supposed to be 3 times as thick and still dry fast. So I put 2 coats on the other one. I don't know if it's the best stuff. Sometimes shortcuts aren't sometimes shortcuts just aren't what they're. Sometimes shortcuts aren't worth the price. And the stain I'm using is a gel stain cherrywood. Alright, so here's one of the finished products. This is the first panel that I put together. I made 2 that were this size and 1 a smaller size. These are going to be incorporated into a built-in bookcase system that I'm putting together for a friend of mine this weekend. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to see that build that these will be incorporated into. This was the first time I used the triple thick polyurethane, and I will say I don't really like it that much. I don't think the final product is as good as using single coats. So I probably won't use it for any new major project in the future. This is the first time I used hardwood cherry, and I really enjoyed using it. It's a beautiful wood, and it smells nice when you're working with it. And it turns out there's no way you can get it wrong, I don't think. So I appreciate you guys viewing this as I pop my... Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, don't be afraid to be a doofus.